It is October 5th, 2022. Last week, I stepped down as Appropriations Chair in the Michigan House of Representatives, and I wanted to give an update just to kind of let everyone know what happened and why I ended up making that decision. So, I guess to start with, there were two different bills that were on the agenda. They were both spending bills. The first one was over $1 billion was largely economic development. I guess you'd classify that as. So there was 840 million of that was a deposit into the SOAR fund for what we're told were 5 projects. One of which was Goshen, which is a Chinese parent company. And then there was also some, I guess you'd call them like book closing type, the end of year type things. Generally, we would do those in December at the end of the year. And then there was other maybe 100 million to 200 million of, I guess you'd call them pet projects. So that's what that bill was. The second bill was largely an, I guess you'd say, an activation of over $250 million for scholarships for higher education. Not really sure how those two bills came together or how the scholarship was somehow connected to economic development, but those were the cards that were on the table. So these were, like I said, both budget bills. Generally speaking, the Appropriations Chair is in charge of negotiating and working through what the budget bills are going to be. I had taken a position about 3 or 4 weeks ago that I was not supporting any additional spending at this current time. So I guess since I took that position, leadership decided to go a different route. The reason I took that position is if you look at what's going on in the economy in the United States and globally, things aren't going very well right now. There's a pretty good argument that we're already entered into the beginning stages of a global recession. We have no idea how bad it's going to get or how long it is going to last. If you look in the United States, we're dealing with inflation we haven't dealt with at this level in my entire lifetime. I guess let's start with this. What caused that high inflation? Government spending. 100% can be attributed to causing the inflation to go up. This $1 billion is not going to help fight inflationary pressures. It's going to add fuel to the fire. If you look at what's going on throughout the rest of the world, probably the two biggest problems we have is the energy crisis going on in Europe, caused from the war in Ukraine, and then also a very swift economic slowdown in China, caused from a multitude of reasons, but I think chief among them is they keep shutting their economy down because of COVID restrictions. That's leading to supply chain disruptions and other things of that nature. So I guess my position was overall things aren't going that well. Let's just wait. Let's wait and see how things play out for a few months before we make any more decisions on spending more money. There was nothing in either of those bills that was an emergency that necessitated spending the money right now. So that was why I took that position. Now, I think it's just worth noting that the Appropriations Chair is the only position in leadership in the House that is specifically chosen by the Speaker. All the other positions, Speaker Pro Tem and Floor Leader, all of those are chosen by the caucus. So I felt it was necessary that if the Speaker and I had such different decision or such different viewpoint and how to go going forward, it was worthy of him having someone there that was like-minded because I can't be in a position where I'm not able to do my job. I had nothing to do with what those bills were. I didn't agree with the content of them. I'm not even sure if I'd really classify that as good economic development. I do understand that, I voted in favor of the GM project and the Ford project earlier this term. I don't like doing that kind of stuff. But the fact of the matter is, Michigan is very tied to the automotive industry. Our success or failures are connected to how well the industry does. And frankly, we have to do everything we can to try to keep those companies here. So it was the cost of doing business, but this is different. These 5 projects, I don't know what they all are. I know one of them is Goshen. It's a project up in Big Rapids. There's been articles about it. The parent company for that project is a Chinese-based company. It's to me, it's a different calculation when you have a Michigan-based company trying to keep manufacturing jobs here. And so I think ultimately, just going forward throughout the end of the year, um, I'm just I'm just at such a different position as to what leadership wants to do. I think people are sick of government spending. They're sick of seeing the effects of it, and so am I. And that's why sometimes just being a no is not good enough, and that's why I step down. So, I appreciate all the support I've received from everybody over this last term. I've received a lot of positive feedback from people who are glad with the decision I made and are glad that someone's like standing up and saying enough. We've had enough spending. Um, let's just wait and see how things turn out. How about we let people have, if we have so much money, how about we let some of the taxpayers have their money back so maybe they can do real economic development through organic growth. Um, so that's it. Just wanted to give an update. I appreciate it. Again, appreciate everyone who's reached out and offered encouraging words. So thank you all, and God bless.